this point, get started. As it's been said, and you will read probably in the manual, in 2001, it was the International Year of the Volunteer, and there were many initiatives about volunteering. And at that time, I was with the UP Ugnayan was the volunteer program of the University of the Philippines, and the system office was just closing down. But to end it, we had a huge gathering of people interested in volunteering, and people were saying, sana ituloy natin to. Okay? At that time also, there were many different organizations talking about volunteering because that's what the year did for us. People now recognize the term volunteering. And also started to recognize what formal volunteering was all about. Okay? At about that time also, there was the South Volunteering Program of the Voluntary Services Overseas, or VSO, as it is known, and we were also looking at people together. And we were thinking, okay, our individual organizations are doing pretty well. We understand volunteers, we understand volunteering, we have our own volunteers. But is it enough to keep it to ourselves? We said, it would be good to get other people to join us since we know that volunteering is such a great experience. We shouldn't limit the experience to ourselves. No? So my JVP, my magandang organization, no? My YOS, pero paano hindi JVP, paano hindi YOS, paano hindi Pahinungod, paano hindi BSO, kaya ba natin na hindi nila maranasan, okay? Ang saya ng pagiging volunteer. Kaya namin, let's see what we can do. And so with that, we started to do consultations because we were also saying people who were initially with boys and invited people who are now in the boys board. And we said, let's look at how we can make it easier for people to volunteer. And let's look at how we can make it easier for people to understand volunteering. Kasi volunteering, ang tingin doon, doing good, okay, which is a fair definition, but it's also more than that. And so that's where we came up with VOICE. Ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng VOICE? Voluntary Organizations, Information, Coordination, and Exchange. Sabi namin, while we have our own mission goals, while we have our own resources, okay, it's really important for us to share resources. Bakit? Because we found that different organizations have different strengths. No? Some organizations had financial resources. Some had material resources. Some of the organizations had an office. Some did not have an office. Okay? Some virtual lang. Pag gusto mo magtawag ng meeting, saan ba? Sa McDonald's, sa Jollibee, sa Interdonas. And I think a comparison has been made maybe to a sports coach. Okay? When a sports coach helps the athlete, trains the athlete, but doesn't do the training. But the coach cannot do the training and win the match for the athlete. Okay? Or maybe a doctor or a medical. And there are many ways of doing this. There are a lot of development organizations. This is something that the government does. This is something that there are here programs, there's infrastructure in different sectors of society. But we said that we want to achieve this through volunteering. Okay? And ano ba yung pagkakaiba ng volunteering? I think I'm talking to the converted, no? But just so we said, well, volunteering has to go, it's now seen as formal and informal, different sectors, and that when we look at what we do, then we're saying, pwede naman sa amin kung ano volunteering. And it is clear to us that it's also easier to explain what volunteering is to other groups. Because that's also what we got. Ang hirap maghanap ng partner na LGU, ang hirap maghanap ng partner or ng donor. Kasi kung sinabi mong volunteer, anong sabi na, ano yun? No? Eh, volunteer pala kayo kasi kailangan ng pera. Diba? But we have to explain that to send good volunteers, you have to train them well. Okay? And training requires certain material resources. Okay? You can't just say, you of good heart, sige, gawin namin kung ano yung kaya yung gawin, bahala na kayo. No? So part of the volunteering advocacy and campaign was also for us to look into the ways that we could support volunteers so that they're able to do a good job. Okay, so out of the goodness of their heart, they're also supporting never give. Okay? Kasi sabi mo natin, kahit gusto mo gumawa ng mabuti, kung hindi mo naman alam kung anong gagawin, makaperwisyo ka lang. No? It is when you give of yourself that you truly give. There are those who give little of the much that they have, and they give it for recognition, and their hidden desire makes their gifts unwholesome. And there are those who have little and give it all. These are the believers in life and the bounty of life, and their coffer is never empty. There are those who give with joy, and that joy is their reward. And there are those who give with pain, and that pain is their baptism. And there are those who give and not know pain in giving, nor do they seek joy, nor give with mindfulness of virtue. Through the hands of such as these God speaks, and from behind their eyes He smiles upon the earth. And in giving, see first that you yourself deserve to be a giver and an instrument of giving. For in truth, it is life that gives unto life, while you who deem yourself a giver are but a witness. In closing, he says, and you receivers, and we are all receivers, assume no weight of gratitude, lest you lay a yoke upon yourself and upon him who gives. Rather, rise together with the giver on gifts as on wings. For to be over-mindful of your debt is to doubt the generosity who has the free-hearted earth for mother and God for father. So in closing, let us be mindful that as we do our work, individually and collectively, as persons and as organizations, as Voice Network, and part of the volunteering sector, and as citizens Pinoy, that we are not collectors nor debtors, that we are partners truly in making the world what it should be, for us and for the generations to come. So thank you very much for coming.